design fundamentals. It will be covering all the essential features with the help of which you are making your website beautiful and attractive. We will be learning about the different media queries. You know, we love GIF. We love the GIF image which is working around, which is moving around. That is something is possible with the help of CSS. So that we are going to learn in the help of media queries and adaptive design. So the best practices and tools we will be going to learn with the help of responsive CSS. So let's understand and get started. So are you excited, students? I need a thumbs up from all of you. You all are excited to learn about the CSS? Yes, student. Okay, I can see lots of hands here. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing the thumbs up here, student. So let's get started. And if you face any queries, any issues on that, I'm here to help you out within that. So don't worry. I will go with the flow that all of you can easily understand and make your website beautiful and attractive here. So let's get started, students. So let's understand what is this CSS. As I told you, what is CSS? CSS stands for Cascading Style Sheet. Why we are learning CSS? Let's get started. Why? What is the purpose behind of it? So modern CSS is what that make website look beautiful, work well on all devices. You know, we search the Google. Okay, you search the Google in the desktop, that having a different screen. When you search the Google in the mobile phone, that having a different screen. That is similar with our website as well, student. It includes a powerful layout tools like flexbox and grid. I will let you know what is that. Don't get confused that, ma'am, what is this flexbox, what you're talking about. We will learn this together and understand how we can make it together here. So flexbox and grid is like your pencil box where you place all your pens and pencils in one place. So it is kind of a place where you help the items in the form of rows and columns or boxes. Like we are arranging photos in a collage, you like arranging the photos, you prepare a collage in the birthday, in anniversary or something. That is the similar way with the help of CSS here. So it allow smooth animations and transition. You can have a smooth animation within that. You can have different kind of transition on it. So such as the button that grow when you hover over them, or elements like side into view. So these all are the important elements with the help of which we are doing the coding of CSS here, students. So without that, we can't prepare a proper layout and structure. It is very important to have these factors to make a proper styling of CSS with our HTML. So you see here, students, the CSS grid and the flexbox. Flexbox is something, you know, a 3D kind of a view. Nowadays, everybody like the 3D picture. You know, we go to that showroom and the exhibition where we had a 3D paintings. I guess all of you have see that 3D paintings. The similar thing with our website as well, students. In our website, nowadays, a beautiful design and structure is being prepared with the help of flexbox, which is creating a kind of one-dimensional layout, and CSS grid is providing a multi-dimensional layout where you can have a multiple things together if you put the image here and there. So let's get started. In the right hand side in the chat box, you will be getting an online tool link that is shared by Milan, that is one line compiler, students. All of you, please open that. I'm going to share my screen and we will start our coding there itself. Okay, so all of you students, please let me know that all of you are able to open this one line compiler. I hope you all are able to open this one line compiler. Even if you have not, you can search it out in the Google as well. You can get a link there itself, students. Okay, please raise your hand if you all have getting that one line compiler, students. Okay, Mitali, Lakshmi Priya, that's great. That's great. Everybody's is getting that. So let's get started and make our first HTML page. You learned about the HTML tags in your previous session. Now it's time to fill the colors within that. So I will be going step by step, and if you face any issue, you can discuss your queries in the session ending. Okay, so whatever the queries you are having regarding any particular code, you can ask me immediately on that. So prepare a notes on it, students, whatever the problems you are facing while writing down the code here. So let's get started. Okay, let me zoom it out so that all, okay, I guess all of you are able to see my screen. So this is the basic template, that is the basic HTML structure that you are getting by default in one-line compiler. So HTML head is that heading part. I'm just making a quick revision what you have learned there. HTML is kind of basic layout where you are going to write down the code. Head is that heading portion where you write down the titles, where you write down what is the title behind that heading part. So that is you are writing down in the heading portion. Then whatever the content part, whatever the description part that you are writing down in the body part here. So this is within your body part. So remove the by default template that is given in your one-line compiler, students. Firstly, remove that. Now everybody is getting the same thing. So now let's go further and let's start doing the code here. So let's use our first heading. Let's start with the H2 tag that you have heard. That is basically for the heading, how you write down the text, how much text should be there. You write down the text here, flexbox example. So I will be explaining you what is that thing, that flexbox we are talking about, how exactly it is working, and what is the purpose of using flexbox. So students, when we are talking about the flexbox, it's a kind of a box that we are using in CSS to highlight something. Like you are preparing, you are writing down something and you want that particular box to be inbuilt. It's kind of a, to build a one-dimensional layout, means in one row, in one column and in one row, it is more efficient and responsive. It is applied by using display fix. So keep your eye here and I will telling you how you have to do that. Okay, students? So firstly, what you're going to have, you can make a division class here. Class is basically, what is the purpose of class? Class is basically whenever you are writing down the code in the CSS, that is being written in the HTML in the form of class. Like you write down a single portion in the CSS and you want to integrate, like you provide the background color red, and now you want to implement in your HTML layout that background color red. So what you do, you write down the class in HTML and you integrate with your CSS part within it. That is what it is working around. So div class, let us provide the class here, flex container. We are going to have a flex container here. Let's close it out. Our div class get closed here. Now let's add some boxes here. Let me add here some boxes. So again, what you have to do every time, whenever you are going to design, whenever you are going to integrate your CSS code, you have to write down the class name. That is very important, student. Whenever you want to integrate the CSS part, means you provide the red color, you provide the margin, and you want to integrate with your HTML structure layout. Then you have to class, then you have to use class within that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to have here class is equal to flex item. There would be a multiple items that I'm going to enter here. Okay. Now the flex item is there. Let me provide here box 1. Okay. Similarly, I write down 2 times more. I'm going to use 2 times more for it. Box 2. Then again, box 3 is here. So now the flex items I have been used here. Let me close here. So the body and HTML being closed here. Now this is the flexbox example here. If you run it out, you will be getting like this. So all the designing part that we are going to do in our CSS, that is the one flexbox we have created. Okay. So it's your choice, student, whatever heading you want to put, how much size you want to increase for the text, and the flex classes name, it's your choice. So now let's go to the style.css. So this is our style.css. Now let's write down the code in our styles.css here. So what we are going to do here, we are going to have, okay, So whenever we are writing down our CSS class, whenever we are writing down the code in CSS, we start with the dot or either with the hash. Whenever we are writing down in the CSS, student, please mark it out somewhere. Okay, so dot or hash we are using. So we put here the dot part, and then we would be having here, so whatever the class name that you have provided in the HTML, the same class name you have to provide it here. Okay, whatever the class name that you have provided in the index.html, the same you have to implement it here. So it will be flex container, what we have given, flex container. So that's the reason the class name you provided in the HTML can be anything, but it should be similar in the CSS part where you're writing down the code. Okay, so we are going to use the flex container. Now let's fix the thing here, display flex. So we are going to set up our dimensional, that is in the row, that is in the column and row wise. So we are going to provide here the display flex, means turns the container into a flex box there. We can have here the gap as well. These all are the features, students. Like for example, if you buy any cloth, you are making the kind of an instruction to the tailor master that it should contain one pocket, it should contain some margins, it should contain a loose hand, like this. The similar thing with your CSS, every minute things that you are going to implement in the CSS itself, so it makes the things look more beautiful and in the best effective manner here. So what we are going to have, the display flex we are provided. Now let's have a gap, space between the boxes. We are going to put here, we have the keyword gap in the CSS here. So I'm going to put here in 10px. You can put it any dimensions, any sizes, it's your choice. Okay, you can either put in the form of height and width as well, as you know there. So display flex we have provided, we are making sure that our box in one dimensional layout here. Now let's provide the background color as well. So let's provide the background color here, gray. Okay, this is the, you can provide any color, and you have a different color code, students. I will be sharing with you the color codes in which you can take any color codes from that. Until or unless you don't have the color codes, you can put the color name directly here. If you don't have the color codes, you can either put the name of the colors, and you can change the background color here. So we have provided the background color, then we have a padding, that is the spacing there, 10px, that is the, okay. So this is the flex container we are having. Now let's change the color and styling of flex item. So we would be having here flex hyphen item, and then we would be having flex item, we have provided the background color. By default you will be getting something. I'm putting here the background color sky blue. You can put any color, it's your choice. So now the background color is there. Let's set up some more features. Let's have again spacing there, so of one dimensional row. So we can have the flex one, that is the spacing, that is basically a spacing between the row and column. Okay, so that is the thing. If you are getting confused that ma'am what is flex, you just understand that is it is one dimensional layout in the form of rows and column. So flex is here, and then we would be having here the padding, also, and text alignment. I want the text alignment should be in the center. Okay, I want my text to be written in the center. That is the thing I really want to design here. And then I want to, a kind of a spacing here, 20px. Okay, now let's run it out and how actually it is working out. Let's see it. So is it correct, students? In this way, we have created a proper flex box here, in which we having three boxes having different colors, and the text is here itself. Similarly, we can insert here the images as well. This is one example of the flexbox. Similarly, we can have the images as well that you are seeing in the PPT. Okay, so this part is clear to all of you? Yes, students? Yes or no? I want a thumbs up. Okay, if you all are getting, please write down the questions, whatever you are having here, if you have any queries on it. Now, so once this part is done, this is the way you design any flexbox. This is the way we define the flexbox item. If similarly, if we want to define the if we want to design something about the grid part, something that we want to create a particular grid, we can have a grid part also. We can have a grid container. So for that, what we can do? So we have here the heading again. We can have one more heading, that is grid example here. Okay, this is the kind of a heading we are providing. Once the grid example is here, after that we would be having a class. We are going to provide again the division class. So we can do one thing, we can copy paste the whole part that we are provided, and we can just change the grid container part. So it will be like grid container, and we would be having here the grid item. Okay, so this will be the grid item here itself. And let's change here in spite of boxes. Let's have the item here, item A. You can provide any product name as well. It's not compulsory that it should you will provide only the box part. You can provide any item name as well. Okay, so let's run it out, and then we will be changing the color as well. Yeah. So now our grid part is basic layout is ready. See students, whenever you are doing the coding of the HTML and CSS, the best part is that the best way of doing that, you prepare a structure layout and then fill the colors and check it out simultaneously. The reason is that it keeps a kind of an integration, and it makes you clear with the things that whatever you are doing is working correctly. When you are working with the website making part. Okay. So now the grid is being added. Now let's use some styling of CSS here. So what we are going to have again, grid is what? Something you are seeing in the multiple grid form in the box, where you have 6 boxes or 6 items together. That is the way you are doing it. So what we can have here, we can have here the grid container. So again, how it is going to start? Grid hyphen container, that is our class name that we have provided. So what we can do, what we have, there the display was flex. Let's having the display, that is the multi-dimension. We are talking about the grid, that is multi-dimension layout. It means there are multiple rows and the column. Flex is for the single one, but grid is for the multiple ones. So we will making here display grid here. So basically where we are using, when we have the photo gallery, when we want the multiple images to be inserted there, there we use this grid container. So we will be using here the display grid, and let's have a grid template column. So for the grid, we have a specific feature, that is grid template columns, basically for the column part. This is one of the property of the grid, students. When we have grid template column is what, let me explain you. When we are talking about the grid template column, it divides the container into two equal widths. Okay, it basically divide your container into two equal widths column. That is thing it is doing here. So what we can do here, template columns here, and we can define it here, the columns 1 fr 1 fr. Okay, that is, you can have the two, or whatever the spacing or the dimensions you want to keep. Now let's have the background color. Background color is there. I want to put it light green, or in spite of that, you can it can be put in like this. Okay, so this is the way I can provide the background color within it. Now let's have a gap. You can have the gap as well between the boxes that is going to be inserted here, 10 px. And when the gap is here, we can have here the padding, 10 px. Okay, so this is the way we have here the grid container. Let's run it out. So you can see our grid container is ready. Now it's time. Now we have added only three items. We can have the multiple one more items. Let us add it because we have only three items here. So we can add here one more items for a better understanding. So what do? You just copy and paste it here. So it will be like this. Okay. Now this part is done. Let us run it out. So yes, so our four items have been added here successfully. Now the grid container is completed. Now the next part is that for the grid item, we want to change something with the grid item, like whatever item A, B, C, D we have inserted, we want to change that. So grid is there. We can have here grid item, and then we have the grid item. We can have here the background color. It's something like coral. Okay, you can change any color, it's not compulsory. Again, the color should be same. And we can have here the same thing that we have added here, that is the text alignment and the padding part. So we can just copy paste it from this part. Yes, now let's run it out and our grid is ready. So you can see here, students. Okay, all of you get the point. Is it clear for all of you? Yes, students. Okay, that's great. Now let's move to the next part. So in this manner, we can have here the multiple grids and the part which we are talking about. So please prepare your questions and queries, whatever you are having regarding this flex box and the grid part. Now let's have a quick poll here, students. So you would be getting a poll link in the right side in the chat. All of you, please join the poll. Yes, students, all of you, please join the poll. You will be getting the poll there. I am sharing my screen as well. Yes, students, please reply on the poll. All of you have answered the poll question. Okay, that's great. 282 students. Okay. 361 only. I get the 361 voters. Students, get faster to answer this question. So, which of the following is used to apply the same style across multiple HTML elements in CSS? So, you have four options, that is ID selector, inline style, class selector, and element selector. Okay. Okay, that's great. I guess all of you have answered the question. Okay, I can see. Please, students, take part in this poll and answer as much you can answer here. Okay, so the correct answer for this question is class selector. Correct? We apply the same style. That is the way we integrate our CSS part with our HTML elements. Okay? Okay, student, thank you so much for taking part here in this poll. Okay. Thank you, Aniket. Thank you, everybody. Janvi, Vyas. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the students are taking part in the poll. Now, let's move to the next part, student. Our next section. Okay. So, let's understand now the advanced CSS techniques and what is all about this. What is that advanced CSS techniques and how we learn that. So when we talk about the advanced CSS technique, student, it include the important features like that, whatever the things that you are using around, how you can use it in the better manner, how you can make it in a better way to understand the things more beautifully in a better directions. Like for example, the advanced CSS layout include both CSS and HTML together. It shows the directional control, how your flex is moving in one direction, like the horizontal and vertical aspect, spacing between the different items, how you provide the spacing, how you do the alignments, how you grow and shrink something. It make your features like a particular flex box. If we are talking about the same flex box, you can grow and shrink as well. That is the kind of a feature that advanced flexbox having here. So we use flex direction to set the layout direction either in the form of row column, row reverse, and column reverse column. The spaces between the items, how you are going to have the spaces, how you justify the content to add spaces in row and column wise. Like you have an option center, space between, space around, how the flex start and end, how you align items vertically or horizontally. You use align items to line up the things. Either you centered it out or stretched, and it started the flex start and flex end there. And how you make items, as I told you, the flex box that we are talking about, how we can grow and shrink as well. I will show you practically how we can do that, students. So see, this is the kind of a layout with the CSS script. The same thing as I told you, if you see a particular website in desktop, that look and features would be quite different. The way it is going to look in the mobile phone, it will be of smaller sizes. Like the way if you go with the Google page and you get a kind of a view here, that it is a kind of a view when you check with the developer option. When you do the inspect, there is one option given in that, that is mobile view. Let me show you that. I think all of you have seen that, students. Yes. If you can see my screen, I do the inspect element, and when I go with this page, it show me the mobile view as well. This is the mobile view of it, and this is the desktop view of it. Getting my point? Okay, student, this is my mobile view, and this is my desktop view. So this is a kind of a different views how your particular website page is looking around that we are talking about. Now, let's understand, let's make how we can implement this in our code as well. So we will be doing same with our code as well. Let's see that. So I will be sharing my screen. Aniket, if you have any queries, I will be giving you a chance to ask your queries there. Okay, so don't worry about that. You would be getting a chance to do the queries within that. So you go with your the template that we have made here, students. Yes. Now let's understand how we can do that. So let's use now the gallery images. Let's have some gallery images there. So what we can do, let's create a photo gallery, student. Let us remove this part, and then I will be showing you in the flexbox. Firstly, let's create a photo gallery. Within that, we are going to have it. Okay. So what you have to do here in the photo gallery, we would be creating one heading. Again, the same thing, photo gallery here. Okay, the photo gallery is being placed. Then we can have, once we have the photo gallery, let's have the image src. So as you have learned in your html previous session, you would be having a kind of image src, that is the source path where you are taking out the image that we are talking about. So we would be having here division class. We would be creating here the class gallery. Okay, I'm creating the class by the name of class gallery here. Now let me add some image src. So for that, what we can do here, for image src, I would be using here the path img src here. Okay, img src. So what you have to do, students, let me show you how you can take the image src path from online. So we will be writing all text here, that is gallery image 1, image 1 here. Okay. Now let me show you how you can trace out the path from the internet itself. So what you have to do, go here, let me close it out, search for animals image. Okay, I'm putting here animals image. Go it here. For example, I'm taking any image like this. Take out this, right click on that, copy the image address from here. Then after that, once you copy the image address from there, what you have to do, you have to paste there in the image src. Okay, so we would be putting here in this image src here, right? And this way you would be having your image here. Let me run it out. Right now the image will be large because we have not set up the size and all, so it will be coming beyond the size here. We have to set up the size here. Okay, so that's the reason it is coming like this, and that is only possible with the help of css. That is what we are talking about. So I'm going to have, you can add 4 5 images similar like that, students. I'm going to add it similarly like that. So let's all of you do it together with me. I'm going to add, you can have the 10 images as well. I'm adding only 4 images. You can have 5, 10 images. It's your choice, students. Let me copy it out. So copy this thing. 1, 2, 3. Now let's copy out some of the image SRC online. You can take any image SRC, students, online. I'm going to copy it here. Okay, this is one more image. Let me have 2 more images there. And one more image I can copy it from here. So in this manner, you can add here the multiple images, right? So my images get added here successfully. Let me run it out. It will be coming out of the screen, students, because we need to set up the size. You can see here, images are coming out of sizes here. So now it's time to set up the sizes on them. Okay, so this is the HTML structure layout we have prepared now. Now it's time to add the CSS styling within it. So for that, what we have to do here, let's arrange our gallery part. So what we can have here, the class name is given gallery. So do here gallery, write down your CSS class name. Okay, so this is the gallery, it is written here. When you have the gallery, we can have display grid. Now let's have our, because we have the multiple images, so I'm using the same thing that we have discussed in our gallery part. So now let's, width I am going to put here 50%. This is the width here. Now we have the width setup. Let's have height automatic. I'm setting height automatically, whatever it is taking, or let us set it also 50%. Okay. Now width and height we have set up. Let's have grid template column within it. So we will be adding here the length of grid template column, that is fixing the height and width of it, like rows and column within it. So it is repeat is what, for all the images it is repeating that. So it is a kind of feature that we are adding from our side to make it auto fit and make it fix according to the image there. So min max is that image size there, and how much length it should be there for that image, we are putting it here. So this is the display with grid template column we have added. Now it's time, this part is done. Now it's time to have it our gap and padding. So gap and padding, again it's your choice how much gap you're putting out. I am putting here the gap 20 px, and the padding again 10 px. Okay, so in this way the our gallery is now ready. Let's see how it is working. And see, right now the size length is still is not completely set up. We need to set up with the image, that is our gallery part that we have set up. Now let's have it here, that how we can set up the images, the how the image should be there, how much length for the gallery image, that is the container we have made. So for that, what we are going to have here, that is, because we are going to talk about, this is the gallery we had made. Now for the image part, what we are going to have, gallery img here. Okay, so this is the gallery img we are adding, and let's fix out some sizes here. Again, let's set up the width and height. I'm going to have the width and height less 40% here. So width and height is done. And then when width and height is done, let's have here width and height we have fixed. Let's have the border radius also. Let's fix out the border radius, the border around that image part that we're talking about. So border radius, let's set up here 10 px. I'm setting here the border radius 10 px here. Now once the border radius is fixed, let's have a transition, how it is going to change around automatically. That is a kind of a transition, it is going to change around automatically here. So we can have here transform, and transform with zero point 0.3 second easier. That is the thing. Now this is the part we have added for the gallery image. Let's, even you want a image over. Image over is what? Your cursor is moving. As you move the cursor, sometime what happen, the image color, the image size get increase and decrease. Even the image background get changes. The same thing is there. The image get highlighted. So the same thing we can implement it here as well. So for that, see, whatever the features that you are adding out, you have to write down with the class name that being started at the initial level. So that is the thing we are starting here. The gallery we have started. We firstly create the gallery, then we create the img background for setting up the height and width. Now it's part to have the hover around, so that when we move the cursor, according to that, image get highlighted or image get changes accordingly, whatever the features that we have set up for the hover part. So now what we are going to do, we can have here gallery, and that is img. So this is the way you write down the multiple feature, students. When we are doing one single class having the multiple features, we write down in this manner. So sometimes it feels little bit complicated, but the thing is that the initial features and the small features that are in building within that can be contained like this. So gallery image over is there, transform. Let me fix out the size here. One second, just give me a moment, students. Till the time you all write down the features within that and just prepare with your question as well. So let me refresh it and give you again this code, show you again this code. So all of you, till the time you all write down the part that I'm talking about, you can have here the spacing. You can adjust the spacing. You can have the background color as well. Even you can adjust the background color as well to make it look beautiful. And automatically it is getting a better manner. In that case, you can fix it out. Let me show you. One second. As the image, and please select the image that are respective to that. So all of you students, please have a look on that. And in the grid layout, it is coming and it is coming in a larger size, so we can make a proper grid maximum width as well. We can set up the grid width as well to make it look better. So let me show you with that part. Okay, students, so in this manner you can have a grid sector as well, and you can have the multiple images as well. Okay, Shisha, you having any questions? Okay, I will give you a time, students. At 5, I'm going to give you a time how you can do that. So before that, let's have a quick poll. You would be getting the poll question in your right hand side in the chat. All of you, please join the poll. And then after that, we will be discussing the queries, some of the queries you are having till now with the part that we have discussed. So all of you, please join the quiz. Please join the poll here. Okay, I can see students are answering. All of you students, please answer the question. I hope you all are able to answer the poll question, students. Okay, that's great. So the question is that which layout model allows item to align both in rows and columns? That's great. I can see here multiple answers. Okay. So I guess multiple students, all the students have answered the question very well and very nicely. So the correct answer is the student CSS grid. That's correct. 80% students have answered. No worries who have not answered, but give a good try for it. Thank you so much that you all try for answer this question. So now student, before I move further, if you have any queries or something, you can discuss with me, and or either you can take 3 minutes break and we will move further with the next part. We will take one halt and we will be moving further with the next part of it. Yeah, Milan, is there any questions from the student side? Please let me know if the students are facing any problem.
Hi, some students are asking what is one FR?
Okay. Is this question is common for everybody? Like so many students. Okay.
Yeah, many students.
Okay, that's great. Let me now explain you that is what is 1FR. How to import the image in Apple. That's great. Any more question, Milan? Or this is only one question the students are facing?
Um,
Because I can't have the liquid.
oh, right, right. So,
Yeah.
what is grid template column is one question that has
Okay,
come
great
up.
job. See, hover effect. Okay, I will tell you one by one, students. 1FR is basically that is a fraction of the available spaces. Okay, when we are talking about FR, that is a fractional unit. So it is used in a grid layout to available space proportionally we divide it. Okay, so that's the reason we use FR, that is a fractional available space in your grid column. So why we are using this grid template column? When we are talking about grid, it's a kind of predefined template available for the grid. Multiple items you can place within it. It's a kind of a predefined features that grid is having already. Okay, is it clear? Flex one, it's a kind of a spacing it provide, Abdullah. Flex one is kind of a spaces with responsive. Ma'am, G is the capital. Okay, that we have to arrange, Amir. Okay. See, two images at the top, three images at the top. We have to provide a proper listing of it. Okay, explain minimum width and maximum width. Min width is what? You provide the sizes like minimum width. Minimum you means by default this size should be there. Okay, it's around like you prepare a size 20 pixel, it should be there. That is the thing you have to provide it. Over is like cursor is moving here and there. You're moving the cursor, Arindam. You're moving the cursor and you're doing that. Okay. So, students, give me a moment and then we will move further with the next part. Okay. Just give me a moment. Till the time you take your water, have the questions ready, and I will be explaining you. You will be getting documentation, Ankit. You will be getting a complete on it. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Abhishek. Got the point? My G is a capital on that. That's the reason it's showing an error. Thank you so much. Okay, Shivam, I will be discussing the code again. Okay, students, I guess. Okay, host is a recorded video, you would be getting that. Okay, now let's move to the next part. I think all of you are get back with your water and everything. You will be getting the recorded video, Rekha, where you will be getting all the question things that we have discussed. Flex is basically, again, they would read, it's one dimensional layout, in the form of row and column wise that we are talking about. Now, now let's move further with our next part, student. I'm sharing my screen. Just a moment. See, whatever the queries you are having regarding any topic and you are not understanding, just prepare with your questions and we will be discussing in the 15 minutes before ending the session. I will be solving all your queries regarding the doubts you are having on it. Okay, so just prepare with your question. We will go through everybody's question, the major part. So now let's move further with the next part here. That is responsive web design. Okay, I guess my screen is visible to all of you. Okay, so let's understand what is this responsive design fundamentals and why we are learning that. So, responsive design fundamental is referred to the core principle that we are using to create websites and applications that adapt seamlessly across the different screen sizes. As I have showed you in the Google page, like when you're seeing the Google website in the desktop, that is quite different. And when you are seeing that Google page in the mobile phone, that is quite different. So, it came across the different screen sizes from desktop monitors to the mobile phones. And the goal is that to ensure usability, readability, and visual appeal, regardless of the device on it. So, when we talk about responsive, it's a crucial concept that we're talking about in the modern web development with a variety of devices that you use today, from phones to tablets to desktop, ensuring your site looks and function on all screen, more importantly, in the same way. Okay, like if your Google search box is working same in the website page, in your desktop page, it should work similarly in your mobile phone page as well. So that is what we are talking about. When we are talking about responsive design, it is a kind of an approach that creates dynamic changes to the appearance of website depending on the screen sizes you are having and orientation of the devices, like either the landscape or the portrait one being used, instead of building a separate version for the desktop and mobile and a single responsive site adjusted. So the core principle you are having, there are three core principles of responsive design. That is, so we start designing the smaller screen first and scale up. Okay, we start designing with our mobile phone and then we start to make it increase accordingly. So we require a proper scaling on the mobile devices and we allow the elements to resize smoothly across the different screen sizes. So CSS technique is basically what? It applied the styles based on the screen size. We can adjust according to our screen size, students, and we can prevent images to overflowing. You know, sometimes what happen, your website images is going beyond, like it is not coming appropriately on the way the screen in screen it should be appear. So that is something we need to make sure that whenever we are putting the images, it should be in the similar manner. See, like this. If you can see my screen, students, yes, all of you are getting this point. Give your thumbs up if you're getting that, students. I want a thumbs up here if you all are getting with this point. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you all that you all for responding. So, student, what is that? For the desktop, the flexible image are different. For the tablet and for other devices and the smartphones, the screen resolution size gets changes as the way you increase and decrease the image sizes. The same way it comes along with the different screen patterns, like for the TV you see something in a bigger screen, the image get wider, and nowadays we have the HD quality kind of an images. That is means the image should not be feeling like it is breaking out. It shouldn't feel like that it is breaking out from the screen. So we make sure that whenever we are putting the images, it should be in the proper layout and structure there. Now let's create our navigation part. Now we will be creating a navigation bar of our website page. Whatever the website you are going to pick, I am going to have my heading, that is my responsive site, and we will be adding there the navigation bar and colors within that. So let's start designing of it, students. So again, we need to change here this here. Okay, now let's get started with our navigation bar. Navigation is what? Okay, yes. Please reply in the chat. What do you understand by navigation, students? Yes. Navigation is what? Anyone? Okay. Navigation is what? When you are moving, when you have multiple option in the screen. For example, you have a website. Okay, you see a website on a screen, and there you have option available: home, about us, and the contact us page, the query form. These all are the different kind of a section that you are making in your website, and that section name can be anything. But majorly, when we are talking about the website, we having the major thing that is home, about us. So when we are talking about the same, it is something how we are going to arrange in the manner that is home, about us, contact page, and all. Okay, it's totally up to us how we are designing the page here. Now let's get started and create our navigation bar here. So for that, what we have to do here, students, we have the header tab. Okay, in the HTML, we have specifically for the header section of the web page, we have the header tab. Okay, we have the header tag here. In the header, we are going to have, once we have the header tag here, let's have the heading here. So you can put any heading. I'm going to put my responsive site. Okay, I love my topic, that is my responsive site here. So all of you, okay, all of you have done this, provided the heading, students. We have provided here the heading part. Now let's add here list. Now we would be having here navigation bar, and in which we are going to have unordered list and ordered list. I will be telling you what is that. What is, ma'am? You would be having question. What is this UL and OL and LI which I am talking about? What is that? So let me explain it to you here. So firstly, let's have here the nav. That is the navigation tag here. Let's have here the navigation for moving here and there, students. Once we have the navigation tag, now let's use here the class UL. So when we are talking about the UL, that is display a bulleted list. Whatever the listing that you are seeing there, it is in the form of a bulleted form. There is no specific order on it, like 1 2 3 4. When we talk about the specific order, student, it is something we are providing numbering 1 2 3 4 and 5. That is what we are talking about. So right now we are not talking about it. So we would be using here UL here. I want to use the UL part. Okay. So once I have the UL, let's have the class. Let's design it as well because we are talking about the CSS. So I'm going to please make sure, and if I'm wrong on this class name, punctuation or something, my lowercase and uppercase, you can correct me on it, students. Okay, like the way you told me previously. So I'm going to have here the class name menu. Okay, when I have the class name menu, now let me have some items within that. So for that, I'm going to have here the li. Okay, that is the listing item. Lia href is equal to, that is hash. Hash is like, if you want to move from one page to another, you can provide the image link and like a source link of it, but right now I don't have anything on it. I'm just making a navigation part. I want to be page should be there only. Okay, I don't have separate, I have not created any separate page for home. So that's the reason I'm using here hashtag. That is the anchor link will be generated here. Now let's do the same. What we can have. we can have home, we can have about, and the contact. So I will be using here about, I will be using again contact. Okay, so in this manner we have three navigation bar we have added. Let's make sure our UL, nav and header all get closed here. So you can see here, I got the point. All my headers, if you use in place of UL, if you are using OL, it will be showing an ordered or numbering kind of a list. It will be like this: 1, 2, 3. Excuse me. Okay, this is in the numbering format. Is it clear? UL and OL is clear to everybody? Please give us a thumbs up here. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now let's move to the next part here. So I will be moving with the UL only. Now href, UL and li we have added here properly. Now the next part is that let's have some designing of it. Let's design it out in a better manner. So what we have used here, we have used here the menu part. We have, so let's add here the menu. So what is the class name we have put in? Class name is menu here. So again, how we can start? Dot menu. I think the menu is same here what I have written. Okay, the menu is the same here. So now in the menu, let's list out the styling, whatever the styling we want to put it here. So I don't want to list out any styling. This is one of the property, like how you want to style, like any kind of a solid fill are there, any kind of a numbering are there, any this kind of a feature you want to add in your list styling, you can add it there. So that is the why we have this option list styling available. So none is here. I don't want to provide any styling here. Let's have a display flex in the form of row and column. We want to add it. Display flex is here. Now, once we have the display flex, let's have the flex direction column. Okay. So flex direction means, again, I'm telling that horizontal and vertical one students we are talking about. As you know, whenever we are talking about the rows and column is something that we're talking about vertically, and row is something that we're talking about horizontally. That is what we are talking about. So this is the flex direction. We are putting here the menu. Flex direction column is here. Align items. Center is here. I want to put my all the items in the center here. Now let's see how it is getting aligned now. See, it is correct. Yes, students, my home, about and contact has been arranged because the list styling we don't want the bulleted one. So that's the reason we are using none. If you want to use for the UL and for the OL for the numbering portion, we can have a multiple styling option available in the list styling. Okay, so this is what we are talking about. The menu is being added here. Now let's, even you can have a gap as well. Let's put some gap as well. 10px is the kind of gapping we are providing here. So let's, menu we have added here. Now let's have a listing anchor tag. Somewhere we want to use a specific feature that we are using around. Okay, let me show you as well. See, what are the class menu is the main feature, and within the class menu we have the multiple features, that is li, we are having home, about, contact. These all things are available there. So what we can have here, okay, so menu list item is here. Now within the menu list item we can have here coloring of it. So whatever the tags we are adding here, that is the anchor tag, that is the link. A is for the anchor linking here. Okay, students. So that's the reason we are using A tag. A tag is basically an anchor or linking tag we are talking about. So color, I'm going to put here green. Okay, you can put any color, your choice. Now the color is there. Text decoration, we don't want to have any kind of a text decoration of it. So I'm just showing you one feature here. You can use any feature, it's your choice. It's one of the property how you're designing your text. You know that italic, bold, and that underline thing. That is all we are talking about, the text decoration. Okay. Now let's have the font weight. Your particular text, whatever you are writing down, it should be in the bold manner. That is the font one. That's specifically for the font. Font weight here. I want to put here the weight bold. Okay. So now let's check it out. Correct? Okay, it's looking nice. Even you can put some background color as well, student. That is one thing. I'm just telling you a one main pattern. You can have multiple things and the query style of it. Okay, even you can have a, let's design our header as well. Let's add some color for our header. So it should be before menu. So because we have used the header tag itself. So students, remember one thing. When we are not defining the class, when we are not defining in HTML any class, and we are calling any particular tag of HTML directly in CSS, in spite of providing the class name, there we don't need to provide any dot or hash thing. Okay. Like here in example, what we are doing, I'm using header tag directly in CSS. I am not defining the class name that you come, but the thing is that for a longer feature, when you have the multiple features and the property, for the longer run, we make sure that we use the class. This practice is not looking good. This is specifically done for the larger part, when we have a multiple things in one plate, when we have like a particular section available, like we are talking about only the header part. So there, header can contain the navigation, header can contain the multiple links, mark you, and images as well. So that is something, solid things have been considered in one part. If we are talking about the footer is that your bottom section. Similarly, you can directly use footer in the CSS tab. This is basically for the major portion of any HTML website page. So right now we are using header. So that's the reason I'm using here header directly. So this is my header. So within header here, we can have the background color. Let's have the background color. I'm putting orange. Okay. You can put any color. And let's have here the color text white. And then the text alignment center. Okay, now let's run it out. See, this is the way you can design your header here. I guess all of you get clear with this point, that how you're creating your responsive site and how you can create your multiple navigation bar in your responsive site. It's your choice how you're going to list out your navigation part in one page there. Okay, is it clear, students? Yes, I need a thumbs up if all the things are clear about this portion. Yes, yes, students. Thank you so much. Thank you. That's great. Thank you. So now let's move to the next part, students. So this is the way we can create a navigation bar here. Now let's have a quick poll again, students. You will be getting a poll link on your right side in the chat. All of you, please join the poll. Yes, students, all of you, please join the poll. I hope, I really wish that all of you prepare the website in this manner and see effectively. See, students, nowadays, if a good website being published in the online also, companies get attracted on that. You know, in the we have a platform like GitHub and all, where you can post your website as well. If you have a proper website, if you made and you can post their website, the companies give direct offers on the basis of the website, effective website that you make. Okay, so that is a very good way if you learn and if you have a proper approach of making a proper website in the web development process. So that's the reason it's a very good procedure when you're learning any language on it. I'm not talking about, but for the computer science engineers and everybody like who are non-tech also, if they post it successfully, if they make a website successfully, they can post in the GitHub and they can get a direct offers there as well. So all of you, please join the poll. Okay, that's great. I got a very good reviews on that. Okay, I hope all of you please answer. I got only one votes of it. Yes, students, please join the poll. Yeah, everybody joined. Okay, students. So the correct answer is control layout scaling on different devices. That's correct. Thank you so much. All of you have replied for it. Yes, Babo, you have any queries? We will discuss the queries at last. Don't worry. I will give you a sufficient time to discuss the query, student. Don't worry about it. So let's have the next topic here, that is the media queries and adaptive design. What is this media queries and why we learn about this? So let's understand. So when we talk about the media queries in CSS, student, this is a kind of a CSS features that lets you apply styles based on device characteristic like screen width, height, resolution, and orientation. These all are the properties that having the media queries having, like how you prepare the screen width, how you prepare the height, resolution, and different orientation within it. So when we talk about the media queries, and adaptive design is what? It fixes out the layouts that change at specific breakpoints, and it adapts by loading different versions of the layout based on the device or screen sizes. So it is not like responsive design, but it switches layouts at a set screen width here. So when we talk about, let's understand how it is working. So CSS technique help us to apply the style based on the devices, like on the screen width, height, resolution, and orientation. So adaptive design used to fix the layout for different devices, like for a separate styles per breakpoint. So responsive design fluidly adjusts layout using flexible grids and media queries when we are talking about. So what does this responsive design do? It fluidly adjusts the layout, how flexible the grid is, how the media queries are being adjusted according to that. See your different screen sizes. As you can see, the different screen sizes, your laptop, your tablet, and your mobile phone, how it is working out. That is one example here. Now, let's understand, let's do in our coding pattern how we can use the media queries and adaptive layout within it. So let's do within our code as well, students, how we can perform in the code. Thank you. Thank you so much that all of you are getting that. Okay. So we have completed our header part. We have completed our navigation part. So our website, half of the portion is being ready. Our navigation is ready. Our flexbox content is ready. Now the time is how to add the media queries within that. So let's understand how we can do that. So let me take a simple example. Okay. So let me show that. So let's have our heading. Okay, I'm taking a very basic example here, students. Let me remove this. Style sheet and the body. Okay, so now let's have it. The body part is here. Div class. Okay, let's have here the div class. Let's take here the class container. I'm going to have my class name, that is the container here. Okay, the div container is being created. Now let's have the heading here. H1. Hello, and that is world. Hello world is here. That is the heading that we are providing here. Once we have the hello world is ready, then we would be having, let's have a small paragraph. You know, P stands for paragraph. Let's have the P tag on it, and let's have any particular paragraph within it. Okay, so this is a basic layout I'm preparing for you. That is a kind of a layout for your understanding. Okay, this is our basic layout. Let's run it out. Yeah, this is our basic layout. Everybody can make. We have made only one class, that is container. We have taken one heading and we have taken one paragraph. Now it's time to work on our media files. So let's get understand how we are working on it, students. So for that, what we can have, firstly, let's call about our container. I'm going to remove all these things because now we are not working on it. Now let's understand how we can create it. Okay, so for this, what we can have, we call that container, and then within that container, we can have here, let's set up the width here, students. I guess my class name is similar that I have provided in the HTML. So let's have here the width. I'm putting here the width is 800 px. Okay, that is my width here. Now, once I have a width set up here, I can have margin. Let's have a margin here. I don't, around 1. Okay, I want a 1 px kind of a margin here, and that is automatic. It should be automatic adjusted. Then width I have put in, margin I have put in. Let's have the background color within it and text alignment. So I would be putting here the background color, padding, text alignment I have added here. Okay, that all things that we have discussed so far, students. Now let's have here the font family. So within the font family, it will be Arial, sans serif. Okay, so this is what we have given. The container part is done. And then let's have, this is the default container layout that we have prepared. Okay, let's set up it out. Yeah, you can see here it being set up properly. The layout change on the basis of screen sizes. This get changed on the basis of screen sizes. Now let's have here the media inquiries. So for that, we have the keyword here in the CSS, that is media query, students. So we will be having at the rate media. Within that, once the media is there, we will be having max width. What will be the maximum width that particular tablet layout? Media queries I will be seeing, it's a basically we are using for the tablet layout. Okay, so I'm putting here 992px. That is my tablet layout here. Now once the tablet layout is here, let's have the tablet layout is there. Let's call our container. Okay, the container that we are using it out. So what is that? Whatever the screen sizes, basically when we are talking about the media, keep in mind that is basically for the screen sizes. Whenever we are talking about the different screen sizes of the desktop, of the mobile phone or the tablet, we are using it. So what we have to do, we just need to call, we just need to mention that. In the case of mobile, we majorly do this. So in that manner, we put the media and the container inside it. Now we put around the container and let's fix out the width around 600 px. I'm putting it width around 600 px and the background color. Okay, let me change here the background color as well to see how it is working out. Okay, this is the background color I'm putting out. Now the container is there, the background width and background color is being there. For the mobile layout, we can have a different structure. Similarly, we can have for the mobile layout as well. This is for the tablet layout I have made. The same you can put it for the mobile layout. I'm just putting the same in my mobile layout as well. Okay, now let's see it out. You can see here it get changes according to screen resolution, student. Okay, liking it everybody, it get changes according to our screen resolution. As our screen resolution get changes, our media queries get changes here. Okay, that is what it is doing here. Is it clear? Is it clear for everybody? Thank you so much, Vivek, Sambhav, and everyone on it. Now let's move further with our next part. So that is what we are talking about. So let's have a quick poll question here. All of you, please join the poll in the right hand side in the chat. We have shared the link with you. Let's have a quick poll question again. Students, please join the poll. Yes, students, please join the poll here. Okay, I will sharing my screen. All of you, please join the poll question. Okay, Mansoori. Any issue? Mohammed Bilal. Any queries you are having? Yes. Yes, Anand. Milan, is students are facing any issue with the poll or why they're not? Like the link is there.
The link is in the group. Oh, okay. Wait one
Is
second.
there any issue within that?
I think the link was in a different chat box. One second.
Yeah. Yeah, students are able to do that. I guess. Yes. Now I can see the answers. Okay, that's great. Okay, so the question is, which media query is used to target the devices with the screen width of 600 px or less? That is the media screen third option with the maximum width 600 px. So 78% students have given the correct answer. They had given a good try for the people who had given for the 11% and 10%. But what I have shared with you, what I have discussed with you is that media screen and maximum width size is 600 pixels here. So let's move further with our next part, student. Going to our ending part of the today's session. That is our last topic for today's session here. So, best practices and tools for responsive CS. See, students, as you know, for the CSS, we have different features and property. We can start with the style for a small screen first, and then according to that, we add the media queries for larger screen. Like we use the relative units. The relative units is a kind of a percentage, pixel sizes, how you arrange your screen, how you make it maximum, minimum, and larger, smaller. These all things you are making out, so that is viewport with how you're seeing around the things. That is a relative unit you are using in spite of using px directly. That is for the small unit of the css. So avoid too many breakpoints, use a few meaningful ones based on your layout, not specific devices. Use browser development tools like chrome development tools to test responsiveness. So, for the responsive app, it is important to understand and make app responsive according to the requirement and apply the best practices, students. The best practices is that clarity, whatever the property you want in your website, like you want a kind of a spacing in the header, in the footer, so you have to make a proper margin and property features according to that. You don't get messed up with the thing, so it's better whenever we are designing a website, we make a proper section on it. We use, even in the html itself, we have the section tag as well for it. So that is the way, that is a good practice whenever we are designing, because see, when we design, when we make the section, it make our task easier for the css also, because we define the section, we define the classes, and according to that we can fill the colors and set up the margins on it. Okay, so that's the reason we need to make sure that whatever the margins and spacing we are making around, it should be in effective manner. So let's have a last poll question for today. Okay, Shubhanshu Malik, I will listen your question, Shubhanshu. All of you, please join the last poll for today. You will be getting the poll link on your right side in the chat. All of you, please join that. Okay, I can see the multiple answers here. Shubhanshu Malik, I will listen your question. Okay. So, student, which CSS unit is best for creating flexible and scalable layout? That is the percentage one. Well, students, sometimes what happen, the PX get mixed with the things. So it's better to use the percentage on that to be very specific on the part. So the correct answer is the percentage part. Okay, now let's move further. So, at last, we conclude with the modern website, how it works seamlessly on all screen sizes like mobile, tablet, and desktop. We design for the smaller screen, first creates a solid foundation for scaling up. We use flexbox, grid, and media queries along with the tools like DevTools, Auto Prefixer, and frameworks to speed up the development. And we can use the relative units and reusable components to maintain a consistent and flexible design system as well. We always preview and test our layout on different screen sizes to catch and fix the layout or usability issues at the early stage. So that's all for the today's session. So students, if you have any queries, you can ask me, and over to you, Milan.
Thank you, Himanshi. Can you see me? Yeah, I guess. Thank you, Himanshi, for taking such a wonderful session. I'm sure all the students had a good experience and learned a lot from here.
Milan, your voice is not audible, I guess. Hmm.
Uh, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah. Now
Yeah.
I
Okay.
can.
Yeah. Thank you, Himanshi, for taking such a wonderful session.
Again, it's going mute, not coming properly, Milan. Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello. Okay. Hello. Hi, Himanshi. Can you hear me now, students? Okay. Okay, students. Thank you, Himanshi, for taking such a wonderful sessions. Thank you, students, for being here all the time, being such a good audience. I hope we had everyone had a wonderful learning from this
Milan,
session.
you are not audible.
Uh, okay, I think that should be fine.
Yeah,
I think some issues with my system.
yeah. It's now you're audible. Yeah.
Okay. So thank you all. As for the attendance, I will share the link right now here. It'll also be shared in your WhatsApp groups. Please make sure to mark your attendance on it. That's how we'll be able to track you. And again, I'd like to thank you, Himanshi, for taking such a wonderful session. And see you all, students. You have 1 weekend left to do your learning plans. The place to upload it will be shared with you all in the group. So make sure everyone on the team has completed the learning plan and is ready to upload it by that time, by the deadline comes around. And thank you all, students. That's all. You can leave, and we will see you all in the next masterclass.
Thank you, student. Thank you so much, Milan. Thank you, all of you. Thanks so much for joining. Attendance link is not working.
Okay, we'll be sharing it in the WhatsApp groups right now. We'll make sure it's working. Okay, students.
Okay. Thank you, students. Thank you so much for joining.
Okay, bye all.
Thank you. Thank you.